nation under fraud. Completely visible, with lying and spying for all. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
And to work together as we continue to work, operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on to galvanize global action.
A vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
And that strength that we build is inflation.
You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. As a democracy, we know there's a duality to the nature of democracy.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded. So let us say, government by the retarded, for the retarded, of the retarded.
Oh man, I love that clip. I can't even tell you. Welcome, Kate Daly Show. I got Susan and Melissa today. It's a Wednesday, and I am grateful to be here, and I'm so glad that you're tuned in. And of course, 888-673-1450 is the call-in number if you're listening to us live in the afternoon. And we are most appreciative of your phone calls because I love to hear from you. And of course, Susan Reeve is on board with me. How are you?
Really good today.
Good. We got a lot to talk about. We got the yacht. That's an interesting story, by the way. And also, Hormala is starting to change her democracy to the word freedom now. She's basically stealing Trump's campaign. she's reading her script. She's a puppet. It's puppetry all around. So there you go. And, I just want to ask you this real quick, Susan. I was thinking today, we do not have to list, I see a lot of shares on social media of listing all the things they've done to our country. I don't feel like we have to anymore. I don't feel like we have to list all those things. We've just lived it. And so if we're happy with where it's going, I guess we do nothing, but I don't know that we have to convince anybody. It's in front of us. We all have eyeballs in the front of our face and we can see what's going on, right? So I always feel like the shared meme of how they've destroyed us, and they can only pick like 20. Otherwise the meme would be, yards long. But I feel like, why are we doing that? Everybody can see it. Everybody knows it's in front of us. I don't know. What is your thought on that?
No, very true. In fact, Don Lemon keeps trying to get people to admit they're going to vote for Kamala, and he stops all these black women, black men, and they're saying, no, prices are way up for us. We can't afford anything anymore. And so they said last time we did vote for Obama because he was the first black, but they're trying to say, push on us the first woman. Yeah. And the prices are too high. We can't afford her.
So true. Best clip I've seen all day, and I put it on the Kate Daly Show Facebook page, was the clip of the guy trying to walk in the illegal immigrant. And they said, well, he needs credentials to the DNC convention. And they go, well, no, they're going to love him because they have the open borders. Like, he just walked across the border. He's from Venezuela. So you can let him in. This is his crowd. And again and again stopped by police. Then he went down to the credentials desk. They wouldn't give any credentials. And he's walking out and he's like, can't get in. They have ID. You can't get past the gate. They have security, but not at our border. But they don't want to have to deal with some illegal walking into their convention because they don't want to be actually around them. And I was laughing so hard at that clip because I thought it was brilliant. They were really showcasing the stupidity and the criminal activity of so many in this country that want to allow that. But it was great. You want to talk about what's that?
I was going to add that the Del Rio Border Patrol, they've been highlighted because they put out a poster, a handout flyer. Like, if you see this woman, don't talk to her. And you go, oh, it's a criminal. No, it's a reporter. It's a reporter reporting on the open border, and they
Yeah.
put out a flyer on her not to talk to her. So that's who they're concerned about.
Yeah. I see the ramping up of drama. I see that people think it's a defeat already, and that they all kinds of talk. Just give it a month. Just give it a month. Okay. Not on the border, but just on the election itself. Things will start to really look more clear, I think. So let's talk Pierce Morgan. I don't like Pierce, but let's talk Pierce Morgan for a second.
No, I enjoyed this article because it's Robert Franzese, who used to be part of the Gambino crime family, actually, and wrote Mafia Democracy, has a little thing on his YouTube channel about, gosh, Nancy Pelosi's hit on Biden has all the mafia hit marks. And we were talking about the fact that her father was like,
he was
born and bred mafia. Yes, yes. She's got those mob daughter ties, right?
That's who got her into office and all the way over in San Francisco, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. They didn't even try to hide it. And so what did she do? She went on all the news shows saying, I didn't have to make a single call. Oh, wink, wink. We know what that means. That means you didn't pick up the phone. Like Michael Corleone and the Godfather, you don't have to call anybody. The order's already been given. And then she goes on to just say, I didn't call on him to resign. And I just, he knew the right thing to do. Oh, really? And then she says, did he want to resign? Did you tell him? She goes, he knows I love him. She didn't answer the question.
Right.
He knows I love him. And let's put him up on Mount Rushmore, right? But the language she was using, Franzese says it's all crime family. And that's what Pierce Morgan points out. He says here in the UK, we call that having a brass neck, that nothing phases you. You are stone cold hearted.
Yeah.
Of course she is. Of course she is. She is the head of the Democrat machine that pushes abortion. She is the old queen. The old, how many years? 50 years?
Oh my gosh. Her dad was Thomas D'Alessandro. He was the mayor of Baltimore, and that's all they knew was mob. I mean, they talked mob, they were the mob. And so she doesn't even have to do a thing. That's why she stayed in office. Nobody ever really gave her a run for the money. Nobody ever really challenged her. She's been in, I think, since like 88, if I remember right. She's well worth over 350 million now, at least. That's what we know about. And she has sure profited, but she cares about the poor. I'm really getting tired of the Democrats care about the poor lie, because it's not true. And the poor will agree at some point, I think, if they can finally take the blinders off and see it. But the lies, the lies, the lies. And it's all front page news today all over America. So we're mentioning that because it's all over. I mean, the DNC and this remarketing of whatever that is, Hormala. But truly, if we truly realizing mob ties is really interesting here on both sides of the aisle. In the background of a lot of people, I think the mob is there. We just don't see it.
Oh yeah, even Maureen Dowd said, you see all the joy at the Democrat convention, except everybody's mad at everybody else.
Yeah.
That behind the scenes, Kamala had to leave and go to Wisconsin. She's hanging out in Wisconsin while the Obamas spoke, because the Obamas are praising her, but that looks like she's dissing her boss. And so this is a very, very fine balancing act. And he put on at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, you could not have put him on at a later time, as he's yelling his way. Biden was put on late at night. And even the press is starting to grumble because their computers aren't working, the internet's going down, the timetables and schedules are all screwed up, they can't stay on schedule. But this is indicative of people who have never been in the private sector, never been in the private sector. Biden, they don't know how to make the trains run on time, even though Biden, promoted Amtrak. Doesn't know how to do it. Because that's government.
Amen. It's I know it's hard to watch, guys out there. I understand, and it's like stomach curling. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's a whole special breed of people, and We've said this since Monday. It's just a very, very strange thing. And you know, the hypocrisy of Michelle Obama standing up on stage and talking about how they don't change the rules for themselves and how they don't do anything criminal or they don't tell any lies to get into office. And I'm like, okay, Mike, that's whatever. I mean, the hypocrisy is so bad. It's hilarious at this point, but they say it. They'll stand on stage and say it.
So true. Actually, today, Menendez in New Jersey, he used to be my senator when I lived in New Jersey, and he resigned. So we're down one blue senator on that case. But, you know,
does it even matter anymore?
Biden brought up the fine people hoax again, which even Snopes, which is far, far, far left, says not true. When Trump said fine people on both sides regarding Charlottesville, he was referring to the protesters who showed up to protest having the Confederate statues being taken down. That was separate than the whatever undercover feds. But it's a setup for the fact that if Trump wins, I think he's likely to, they're going to have riots again, and they're starting to stoke who those rioters will be.
Yeah. By the way, people are retreating from the master plan. Ford is making plans now for hybrid instead of all electric. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing because it's such a fail sign that they made all these cars that nobody wants and cars that don't work, cars that catch on fire, cars that are horrid. And I just love it when I see the retreat. I love that. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing that these plans of the New World Order fail. And on both sides of the aisle, we're looking at people who are just complete and total globalists. I do not believe the states are red and blue anymore. I think the states are run by globalists. So you've got pretenders, like in my state. Spencer Cox was written up by Time magazine for being woke. He parades around as a conservative. He's a manipulating liar. And so he's a lefty, total loony. And so we're seeing all the evidence now in our states. So I think we ought to stop with the red and blue maps. They don't work anymore. They're outdated. We are now in globalist territory. Globalists are running things, and we better get the memo, people, because the people save this country, not government. Not even at state level. They do not. They're just globalists through and through. Be right back. More with the great Susan Reeve when I come back, and you can call in. KateDalleyRadio.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kate Daly Show.